This is a bit better now. It's a bit better, yeah. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Very good morning to you from Germany. Today, we are going to talk about how Nigerian and other grassroots players can go from the grassroots level to become a professional footballer in Germany. We've done this before a couple of times, maybe last year, if you follow our video. But today, we will be going deeper into it, and especially also hearing from Gabriel, who is the rep of Scoring, joining us from Nigeria today. Before I proceed, as usual, I'll let my co-host and then our guest speaker to briefly introduce themselves, too, and then we go into the main gist for today. Michael, over to you.
Yeah, very good morning to you, Mike. You're welcome on this show, Gabriel. If I may say, you look like John Fashanu. I don't, I don't know if you're related to him in any way. Welcome.
You, sir.
So,
Sorry?
I didn't get you.
I said you look like John Fashanu. If you know about Nigerian football,
Oh,
yeah, it seems like Gabriel doesn't know him.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
no.
all right, Gabriel, please briefly introduce yourselves to the people who are live now, so they also get to know you, and then we can get started into the topic for today.
Hi, I'm Gabriel, scoring rep from Nigeria, and also the group admin to organize scoring movement in Nigeria. So I'm live with the co-host and the host Sir Mike and Sir Michael. We'll be talking about the challenges Nigeria players are facing in terms of going abroad, pursue their career due to the government and everything. How things are difficult for the visa movement and everything, and also discussing more about the Plan B movements,
Yeah,
how they have a backup plans outside their priority career that will sustain them if in case the plan A doesn't work out, the plan B can actually sustain them for a very long time. So we'll be discussing the challenges and the solution. So hope you hear with us.
yeah. And maybe before we proceed, I'd like to hear from my co-host Mike. So, what do you see exactly in Nigeria with young talent? I have the impression that talent is like almost everywhere in Africa, especially Nigeria, when it comes to football. But we don't really see this being represented. Um, we don't see this being represented a lot as it's supposed to be in the international space, and then also with competitions, with the say the Super Eagle, for example, we don't feel it. I personally, it's like there's so much talent, but you don't really see this showing. And like I feel like Nigeria could be a country that's truly exporting talents to the world, but that's not really what Nigeria is known for. At least not today. What do you think? Is that the case really on ground, or it's different? Do we have false?
Yeah, Michael, the solution is like you go to an orchard. Now, let me tell you, it's like orchard. There's a lot of ripe fruit, but they don't have to process it into something that brings you better value. So you just feel like there are a lot of ripe fruit. Imagine they are just falling down and people working on the floor, but they don't have companies that process it into better forms that can give you better value. That's just in Nigeria, in this part of Africa.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
have no product. That's just the thing. So we didn't have the sector and the sector. That's
Mm.
how I
And Gabriel, so now that you are working with scoring, so what is your impression about the challenges that these grassroots players are facing? Gabriel, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
can hear
Come
you.
here.
Come and play.
Gabriel, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. So I was asking that now that you're repping scoring on ground in Nigeria, how do you see the current situation for the players that scoring wants to reach out to help them become professional footballers? What challenges do you think that they are facing?
Uh, they're facing a lot of challenges in terms of visa issue, and fraudulent agents, and also the Nigeria government is not helping in terms of football aspects. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of talents wasting, more than 1 million players wasting Nigeria. They have the talent, but there's no opportunity for them to showcase themselves outside.
Mhm.
So the first challenges I think is the agent issue, and also the football visa to go out to pursue their career outside the country. And
Yeah.
also, yeah, and also since the Nigeria government is not helping in terms of football, they're focusing on other things. So most players gave up on their way to pursue their dreams because they lose hope to everything. They've tried all their best, but there's no way for them. So most players will just give up in the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I'm trying to, because we have our idea of how we can solve these challenges, but we also want to make sure that this is a solution that is going to work for the people. So maybe before we talk about the solution which Scoring has that we are implementing, what do you guys think is the ideal solution for the people? Maybe we can name some of them, and then we see which one actually fits into the idea that Scoring has, and then how can the players begin to take advantage of this solution. So we may not be able to solve the problem for the 1 million talents that are wasting, but at least we can take a lead and start from somewhere. So maybe could you guys touch on what the ideal solution would be like, or what are the different options that uh, one can use to help some of the players?
All right, if I may go first, Gabriel, maybe you can come next. Now,
Please.
I was speaking about structure at first and administration. If you go across the country, it is just of recent that you're beginning to see the spread of football academies, maybe in more states. Before this time, you could just hear of maybe one or two football academy
Yeah,
in Lagos.
yeah,
And so, when you have structure, it is easier to collaborate. you
true.
know so now that was a big issue. You have people, but you want to get to people, but you don't know how to get to them. If you come to Nigeria where you have a structure like you have football academy, if you're coming in as scoring, you know where to go, you know the places to visit.
Yeah,
It makes the search and the scouting a bit more straightforward. But you can't just come to Nigeria and then you don't know if you have to start going from street to street like that. So it makes it kind of very
yeah,
ambiguous and, yeah, difficult to handle. So the structure has to be properly organized.
mhm,
Then administration. Who are you talking to when you come in? Who is the manager of this person? Most of these footballers, they don't even know how this business works. And then we have the challenge of facilities also. Most time when you take these guys from Africa, because of the pitches they play on and all of that, you need to start fine tuning them again and polishing to come to the European standards and stuff like that. So this has, because some guys when they put on boots, they don't know how to play the football again. They play better without boots. You
crazy.
can imagine that now and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So when this person he can play football, but not when he's putting on boot, his touch on the football becomes very poor. So this guy, he can play football, but he needs to start teaching him how to use boots. Something as simple as basic as this again. So these are
yeah,
some of the issues. We need more structure, we need more facilities, and we need improved administration. Then it will now facilitate collaboration with scoring and other agents from Europe. Yeah.
yeah. That's true. That's true. And Gabriel, what would you add to that then? That's how what the solutions could be like, and where one could start solving them from.
uh, I think right now, like, we have some civilized academy, like some academy with structure here in Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and the rest. Those are
Yeah,
the proper academy with good agents or good coaches with international uh, experience.
yeah,
So I think we can easily work with those academy that are already internationally wise.
yeah. Mm,
Maybe we can start from there and move on and try to build a system. But before we go with that strategy. We need to at least have scoring strong structure here in Nigeria, like a recognized some structure in Nigeria that they can easily have to believe on and trust on due to the
yeah,
past experience with the past agent or so. So we,
yeah,
we need to build up something that they will easily believe that, yeah, this scoring is a legal agency.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so the thing about the beauty about scoring's plan or how scoring works, at least currently, is the fact that if you look at it in practice, it's zero risk for all the people involved, the players and all. First and foremost, scoring does not and will never charge a dime to the player for anything. That's the first thing. So, and scoring starts with a plan B for you as an African player who wants to come to Europe. And the reason again is that this plan B is your plan. You want to make sure that you have a backup plan because, like you said, there is a lot of not only misinformation but also fraud in this space. This is true. And we have seen that also. There are lots of African players that we've met here. We organized some scouting sessions last year, and I would say like 90 of the players who came, these are players that came to Europe on false promises. Some of them, especially to Ukraine. And then when the war broke and everything happened, they found themselves in Germany. But even then, while they were in Ukraine, they had no clear path, nothing. Everything that was promised to them was not true. So this is not things that we're making up. You can find the stories on the Scoring YouTube channel. You can watch and hear from the people. Now, what this translates to is, even if you found a way to come to Europe, wherever that is, and you have to know that all parts of Europe are not the same. That's another thing you have to know. It's like what happens when football does not work for you. And if you've experienced how things work in, say Western Europe, Germany, for example, and other top European countries where they take football seriously, they understand that football is not just all about playing on the pitch. There are hundreds of other ways that you can be fully and gainfully involved within the football space. So, and this is where scoring really wants to educate the players that we work with. It starts with the mindset. And since this is something that you cannot easily tell someone for them to understand, then it becomes, we find a way to make it practical for them. What this means, very in simple words, is what is your backup plan? Because this backup plan is not only a backup plan, but it's actually where you start from. We've had cases where players they get actual invitations from clubs for trials. They go to the embassy refuses to give them the visa. The club can press and follow up and call, but the embassy has the final say. That's the fact. And imagine the club would not want to start investing so much energy and resources on getting the visa. It's already a lot of work. And don't forget, there are also players here. There are German players here. There are players from other parts of Europe here who are also competing for the same opportunity. So it's not like you're just the one. So at the end of the question is it worth that effort? Most likely not. So the goal is how can you actually be here on a legal path, on a long-term visa, and then work on your plan A. And this is why scoring starts with the plan B. And then once you're here, we begin the plan A. And it's zero risk for you. No promise of whatever. You see everything for yourself. An example of the plan B is coming to Europe or to Germany precisely as a student. Because your student visa allows you also to play football. So once you do this, once you're here, then scoring takes it up. Recently, we've had a few cases that we had players who came as students, and then we were able to also connect them to clubs for trials, and they have a place to start from. You may not sign a professional contract right from the beginning, but you will be either playing in an academy or a lower division where you can shine from where people can see you. So it's not a question of begging or paying someone for trials. So this is our strategy. And now we are hoping to connect and work with not just players, but also major stakeholders like club owners, uh, academy owners, trainers, coaches, so that they can get to know us, how we work, and how can we build this structure, exactly the structure that Michael was talking about. How can we build this structure? And this is where Gabriel comes in to start making this connection on ground with the people. Let the conversation begin so that the people move from the grassroots level to their path to becoming either semi or professional footballers. Yeah. So how do you guys? And one challenge that at least that I'm facing right now is, in as much as this plan seems very straightforward, it's not. We haven't. It hasn't been easy for the people to cooperate. I feel like they are so used to these promises that it's like easier when we say, "Hey, come, we got the place for you. Just come." But in most cases, this doesn't work. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Because in as much as this seems more like straightforward, um, the people would rather respond faster. I had some guy many people texted me since last year or the year before. And then I went to my Facebook and I was checking and I started replying to them. Honestly, I told them to send me just their football CV. I haven't seen it till now. It's been weeks. I haven't seen it till now. So I'm trying to understand, are the people ready, or how can we really get them to comply? Because in as much as we can do our part, we also need them to do their parts too. Mike, it seems like you're frozen. But Gabriel, how do you think that we can make the players also ready, so when we get in touch with them, that they can also comply? Because even if you have the solution and the people are not complying, then you cannot really solve anything. Mike, if you're back, then you can go on. It looks like you were frozen before.
Yeah. Oh, very sorry, please. Yeah, there was a glitch with the network, so I think I was frozen for some time. So I really wasn't getting what you were saying. So if you don't mind, could you please just quickly run through this? Sorry.
No, but the key thing which I was saying is the clear path which scoring offers, and how it's zero risk for the players, that you're starting with your plan B before your plan A. So when you look at it, essentially, it's all for you as a player. And and then I was
Yeah.
mentioning the
Okay.
other point that even with this clear path, the rate of cooperation with the player is also not there, because you ask someone for a simple CV, they're not sending it for weeks. And because of this reason, we now built a CV builder. So if you go to hub.scoring.com, you also see our CV builder. And we did this so that it makes it easier for players to create their professional football CVs, which they can use to work with us or wherever, but we're still not really getting it as we wish we would get. Yeah, Gabriel, if you want, you can touch on that. So, all the guys, Gabriel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So, I was saying, could you touch on that? Why are the players not responding to basic things like sending their CV or creating a professional CV, which we've already offered them the platform to use?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on, please.
Yeah. I think most of the players, like the grassroots players, not all players that have a like good background by the
Mhm.
football. They don't have like most of them just play for fun, and also they don't have like the good details or background about themselves. They just play hoping that one day it will be better, maybe doing scouting or stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
feel, yeah. So I feel like those players are very ready for, in case of city builder, are the players in the academy already, like the proper academies. You can easily get players that are very ready for to build up their CV. But going to players without proper academy, they just play
Yeah.
football, hoping for their dreams to come true. Very difficult for them to build up their CV.
Yeah.
And also, so I feel for us to get more players that are ready to work with scoring or ready to push their dream outside, to start with the proper academies.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Well, if the academies are out there and you're watching this video and listening to us and seeing us, we want to work with you. Academies, clubs in Nigeria's, trainers, coaches. We want to connect with you. Ask us whatever you need to ask us about how we work. We're very transparent and plain, and we will break down the process for you. And the structure of scoring is straightforward. So within the team, we have the people that are focused on the recruitment, the consultation, the information, the guidance of the players. before they come from Nigeria or other parts of Africa to Germany. And then once they are here, then we also have other teams, the legal team that will advise and consult them on migration topics. This is really important because, yeah, no one cares about your talent is important, but the structure comes first. I think Mike, you can agree to that. We've talked about that multiple times. Talent is great, everything is great, but there's a system, there's a structure that you have to conform to. So this migration issue has to be taken care of for sure. And then clubs do not want any player that's a liability. Yes, you're very talented, you're good, but you become more attractive when there's a plan B for you. So that plan B is anyways what you come with, right? And then there are also the 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 team that are taking care of the communication and the collaboration with clubs and academies. And depending on your age, we know where you would start from an academy where you shine and grow, or from a lower division where you shine and grow. But definitely, once you're here, what we guarantee you is that opportunity for trials. And I think that's what every player needs, an opportunity to show their talent. So, yeah, the club owners, academy owners, coaches, we would love to hear from you, work with you, and tell you more about ourselves and what we do. Michael, over to you. We're almost out
Yes,
of time already.
yeah, very sorry. I don't. That my network is not trying for me today. But I want to say this. We've witnessed a lot of things happen in football, and like from the Lego side to the skill side and everything. I have seen that from all that. I have a story. I don't know if you are aware of this story of Emiliano Martinez, who signed for Leicester City in England. On his way after paperwork, there was a crash. I think the plane he entered disappeared. He couldn't be traced. He had not landed in England, and he had already left his parent club. I think it's Spain, and all of that. So the Lego battles are still ongoing to you today. Refund our money? No, your player already left, and all these issues. You
No
know,
way. No way.
you know. So it is both legal, it's both structural, it's both it's a migration stuff, it's both administrative and everything. So, and I think Score In takes good care of all of these things. And we've also heard of stories of very high prospects from football academies like Chelsea, Barcelona, Real Madrid, who were being like tipped for to be the next big thing in the club, and somehow things just didn't go well. And I know from what these football academies do, like what ScoreInn's doing, they also give you a plan B so that you don't end up frustrated in life. In fact, sometimes we hear where coaches just like overlook certain players, they get discouraged and they just leave football and they're not frustrated. So
Yeah.
these stories are so many. There is a particular guy in Chelsea, he kept being overlooked there. He had a very terrible injury, young man. And then Maluda, somebody, I forgot his name, I think he's a Ghanaian, but he plays for England, very high prospect guy. He had an injury that destroyed his career, and that was just it. So a lot of things can come out, like Paul was mentioned on this show. But that's what ScoreIn does. They take good care of all the other prospects, all the aspects of this professional football stuff. They take care of the visa. They know what comes first and all of that. So I
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't see why any football academy should be afraid, because from the first moves, you should know if somebody is fake or not, or if somebody is fraudulent or not. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and to add to that, that is a very common thing. Taking care of players. You see that some players they are here, and then for whatever reason, maybe in one club they are shining, always playing, and then in another club they are just sitting in the bench,
Yeah.
and then you don't know why. So there are all these things, and if you don't have, say, a consultant who is really taking care of you or
Yeah.
helping you do all these things, then it's because the football itself is already very stressful enough. And now, by the time you add that with management of yourself and doing all the communication, collaboration, cooperation, and checking, then you lose interest. And now
Yeah.
the danger there also is, football is something that really exhausts your body physically. So you don't have the strength for a long time, like in other profession that you could practice it for a long time. So it's like as you are growing, reaching close to your 30s, you are already coming gradually, you are progressively to the end of your career, at least your physical strength to perform. So it's like you really have a short time that you can hit it to the peak. And then because you get to the ceiling pretty much fast. But that's just a ceiling for the physical part of the career. But the career still goes on pretty much after then, just in a different form. So this information or education and awareness and opening the eyes to the people, it's something that is not so much out there, or at least not based on the stories which we hear. So these and many more things are what we are helping the players with. And now, for those that are not even here, what I just said is mostly related to players who are here already. How much more of those who are not here? So it's a much longer journey for them. Um, we have something here. I will just paste it so that we read and then we will wrap it up for today. If there are some comments to read, then we will just touch on that and then we'll wrap it up for this morning. So Abishoye says he's not a footballer, but he has friends in NYC who he has seen play ordinary NYC football in community, and they are better than real time Nigerian team. Okay, tell that to NFF. So the academy should really do better to recruit players that have great dreams. The structure and system is broken, and we know it is. So we can't be talking like the European country when we are in Nigeria. Yeah, that's true. So now what we are doing here now is to see how to solve this essentially. Um, Obviously, we don't plan to like change it from today to tomorrow, but we can start from somewhere. Like Gabriel mentioned, they are now becoming more and more good and well structured academies in major cities. So that change is already coming. And by the time we have a good pipeline of exporting players legally, professionally, and with a good structure, these players are going to come back and be the part of the people to set up that structure within the country that is needed. If you check some of these top academics and clubs, they are backed by well experienced professional players in the past. So the more of them that we have, then these are going to be also like part of how we solve the problem. Yeah.
And,
So
and just to add, now, another good development is we're beginning to some coaches in Nigeria are beginning to go into some deals with coaches in Spain and England and going for some kind of internship program to improve on the quality of what is being done here. We're also beginning to see collaboration between some academy in Nigeria and big football teams in in Europe and in Europe and all that. So that is to improve on the correct state of things. These are some of the things happening already. So we know that in a few years' time it's not going to be good because what happens is without these football academies, our guys end up the major years of their life playing on the street. By the time they get an invite to Europe, they're already too old and they're not able to make any progress.
yeah, good. So Abishoye, we showed your comments. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Yeah, please share this video with anyone who needs to watch it so that they can see it and get in touch with us and see how we work and what we can do together. Gabriel, final words from you so we can wrap it up for this morning. We're already out of time. Gabriel is always looking surprised. He's not used to the show yet. So I was saying, any final words from you so we can wrap up the session for this morning?
Yeah, I was trying to ask if you really started communicating with the academies, like the details I gave you about the top academies in Nigeria. If you already communicated with them, like sending them based on maybe WhatsApp, email, or if there any positive response from there.
So that hasn't started yet. So that we will start next week for sure. So while we are making this so that clubs and academies will see us and get in touch, we're anyways taking proactive measures to get in touch with them. And this is what Gabriel is working on. So clubs, academies in Nigeria, soon in Ghana, you will hear from us. And if you watch this video and soon you get our text, hooray, this is us coming to you. Yeah, so we are coming. Yeah, we're coming to them gradually but progressively. Yeah. Then Mike, any final words from you so we can wrap it up for the morning?
Yeah, like I said earlier, we this is a very good opportunity, and it's so good to see because even in terms of man management, our former players while they are playing at their prime, they go and buy private jet and all of that. But part of what scoring do, they also help you to manage your finances and help you to get out of trouble, what you're not supposed to do, or your tax payments and all of that. You get all of this information, and which makes scoring a very, very wonderful platform. It just takes care of a whole lot of all those extra headache that even distract the main game of football and concentration on what really you're doing with the club. And then which brings about better productivity, and the more results, everything goes well. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, yeah, for those who are just maybe tuning in or watching our video for the first time, we make this live podcast every weekend, every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. Nigerian time. And the goal here is to inform people about everything in the migration space, how essentially you can move abroad, to study, to work, to relocate. And we know that football is also a key part within the migration sector. Nigeria has great talent. Nigeria could be a country that is truly exporting millions of talents, on a regular basis. Everywhere, when I came to Germany at first, most times when I go to places and I say Nigeria, they just start asking me if I know a culture, if I know Kano, if I know this one. I'm like, bro, Nigeria is a big country. I know those guys, but not personally. So you get this respect, and this is things from several years ago, but we still, that's definitely one good side that Nigeria is still enjoying, but it's not the way it used to be. It's diluting because the power is not there today the way it was, but the people are still there, and this is what we want to bring back. So today's session was fully focused on that. Check out Setlinn if you are a serious player who wants to do something for yourself. If you are a trainer, a coach, check out the platform which we have built, Setlinn. On Setlinn, you get information about migration. You also get information about football migration as well. We couldn't talk about everything which scoring does and how we work with player. This is more like an eye opener to you so that you can get in touch with us and let the conversation begin. Because what is going to work for one player might not work for another. What will work for one club might not work for another. So this is just to open your eyes to what we are doing, that you can also become a part of it. And here you actually do it yourself. So it's not like anybody telling you, give me 1 million, 2 million, and I will do ABC for you. No, it's time for everyone to get involved from day one. So from grassroots to grow, how to overcome the challenges with scoring, get in touch with us, and let's work together. Thank you so much, guys, for the session. It was a good one again. And to everyone who's watching from wherever, please share this video with somebody that you think needs to see, and sign up on Setlinn to learn more about what we're building. I wish everyone a nice weekend. Mike, Gabriel, thank you for joining.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.